Hey everyone, PureSpirit here, and welcome to our little conference room here. We are currently in the Exiled map, the brand new map that is yet to be released. We are here with Dan, ciyquo, and Zan, the creators and builders of this map. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
What's up?
Lovely and in sync there, fantastic. So we're not really going to look around the map. That's not what we're here for. We don't want any spoilers. We want this, the map's coming out soon for beta testing anyway, and then we'll be out shortly after that for everybody to play. We're just here to really ask some questions, get maybe a few teasers if we can or whatever, and see what we can come up with. So yeah, I've got some questions already written down. They're not all mine. I'll say that now, because some of them are a bit special. We have Bethel from the forums to thank for that. I got him to help out because I only got 4 questions and that's not enough. But anyway, right, we'll get started. This probably goes to all of you, but I'll start with Dan, seeing as I've arranged everything with Dan here.
All right.
Where do you get the inspiration for your map ideas?
Well, we're still a relatively new team, but I think what I enjoy most about it is just it's just making survival fun. Like my favorite game mode has always been survival maps, but I was just realizing there aren't a lot of quality survival maps that are coming out these days. There's a lot more.
That's very true. Very true.
Yeah, there's a lot more adventure and all these other genres. So I was just kind of thinking, it's been a long time since something really unique like Skyblock came out, and that was kind of where my inspiration started. And since then, it's just been because I love building so much and I like hanging out with these guys. So
Fair enough. And that makes total sense. No, I can understand about the Skyblock thing, because I saw there's actually been a map recently called Skygrind, which it's a similar idea to Skyblock, but then when, of course, I found Cave-In, which is that your latest, or is Final Battleground the latest?
Final Battleground sooner, but that's not actually in our survival series. That was kind of a side spin-off with...
Yeah, it's a little bit different. But no, with Cave-In, it's, if any of you haven't played it, it's an amazing game concept. It still completely revolves around survival, but it's very different. I won't go too much into it because that's not why we're here. But I'll put a link in the description to the forum post where you can check it out. Very, very cool, and it's completely vanilla survival, but in a very different way. Anyway, moving on. Zan and ciyquo, are you more the part of the build side of things, or are you part of the inspiration? Do you come up with the ideas as well, or do you just build kind of thing?
I don't know. It's kind of a little bit of both, because, like, for example, Cave-In was originally my idea, but mainly I just help with the building, and Dan's ideas are flushed out.
Fair enough. That's a very honest answer there. And ciyquo, yourself?
Yeah, well, Dan here is the command block mastermind. Well, I'm kind of just a block placer. Yeah, well, Dan and I have been building a lot, as he said, and yeah, he kind of liked my style, so that's why I joined for the building.
Very cool. So yeah, just going off that quickly about the command blocks. There's, from what I found in Cave-In, there must be so much stuff that you've kind of put into that. Your experience with command blocks, do you have a programming background, or is it more what you've discovered just through playing Minecraft?
I do. I feel like Minecraft, the syntax and style is a bit different. I actually hadn't programmed in Java, but I've done C++ and HTML and a few other things beforehand, before I got into Minecraft.
Fair enough. Do either of you two have programming backgrounds at all, or do you purely just focus on the build side of things?
Well, I'm pretty good at web design, but that's kind of not programming. It's a whole new field.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's quite a bit different.
Yeah, and I actually know a decent amount of C++, but I actually have no idea how to work command blocks that well at all, so...
I'm teaching you.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's cool. Right. Well, let's have a look at see what else we've got here on the list. We'll leave that one to last. Okay. Are there any other maps on the horizon, Dan?
There is a map, actually 2 that we're planning. We are going to try our hand at an adventure map eventually, but kind of nearer on the horizon, and what we expect out more is part 3. This is actually a 3-part survival series.
Okay.
That's actually something that not very many people know yet. But yeah, Cave-In, Exiled, and then a future map called Planetoid are connected in ways that you will see once we finish them.
Fantastic. That sounds like a lot of fun, and especially because the storyline for Cave-In, as I've discovered, there aren't too many more areas for myself to discover, as we've discussed in length at problems we have with certain areas. Anyway, that'll be coming up in one of my future episodes. But anyway, so yeah, it's really good that you're not just focusing obviously on just the one idea and kind of just hoping it just sticks to one, but the fact that it's all going to link together, I think it makes a very cool story idea that's very different in survival Minecraft. This one's to all three of you. We'll start with Zan. How long have you been playing Minecraft?
Oh, that is a good question. A long time. Actually, Dan played Minecraft first. He's my brother, actually. So,
fair enough.
Yeah, he introduced me to Minecraft, like, probably 5 years ago, probably. Something like that.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I've played ever since.
Cool, fair enough. So that'd be back. Did you play in alpha stages, or did you start playing in beta?
No, I played in beta.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. And Cisco, what about yourself?
I actually got introduced to Minecraft as a indie game. I imagined it as a two-dimensional, pixelated, kind of lame thing, and then, by a friend. And then I started playing, and I kind of fell in love with it. It was back in beta 1.7 point something. Is that 2011, I think?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a long time, actually.
Yes, no, it certainly is. It's certainly longer than myself. I did I was determined for many years. I wasn't going to play it. Much like yourself, it just sounded like this rubbish game. Why would anyone really play it? And then I started watching people on YouTube. And realised what an awesome game it actually is, and especially how it had developed over the years and the changes that came through. And now the point we're at now it's incredible just to look back and see how things were.
I found it so amazing how the game just doesn't die. The community keeps growing and new ideas keep coming in.
It certainly does, and that's something you don't really tend to see with many games. I mean, most games. I mean, I'll pick an example here: Call of Duty. The next one comes out. The old one kind of stops.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
That's the end of it, and that's the same with a lot of games where, like, let's call the updates for Minecraft the next part of the game. When that happens for other games, once it's done, it's done. But for Minecraft, it just keeps growing and growing, and even before the next updates come out, we get modders who come along and create new things as well. And now with command blocks as well, the options are endless. There's so much you can do with this. But Dan, what about yourself? When did you start Minecraft?
Around the same time as Cisco, actually, beta 1.7.3. So back in 2011 is when I started.
Fair enough. So quite a few years on your belt now. Very cool, very cool. Right, let's see what else we've got here. Here's one from Bethel, which is quite a fair question, to be fair. How much time do you spend play testing your maps?
I guess I could answer that one. Actually, me and Dan played pretty much all the way through Cave-In before we released it. So yeah, we'll build it, but we'll almost play enough time of playtesting in order to beat the map.
Okay, that's cool. So yeah, you can actually see, rather than just testing certain aspects of it, you can actually see the playability of the whole map, that's a really cool way to do it. One that kind of goes around on Cave-In a little bit. I will be playing Final Battleground very soon. There is plans for that in actually next week.
Okay.
But I'm not saying any more than that. But with regards to traps, hidden secrets, areas that should really get you killed, as I've discovered in a number of the areas in Cave-In. I'm incredibly close to death, but I'm still sitting on 0 deaths, which I'm very, very proud of. But how important and how much do you enjoy creating the traps and hidden secrets within the maps? Cisco, if we go for you.
Actually, I just joined this team 2 weeks ago, and I didn't actually get the chance to play Cave-In, but it's on my agenda, yeah.
Fair enough.
So I wasn't part of the dev team for that map. I just joined on this one.
Okay, very cool. Well, hopefully we'll see lots of exciting things coming from you on this one as well. Then I'll post the question to Zan then, with regards to the traps and hidden secrets. Do you enjoy? Have you got a kind of like hidden evil master inside of yourself that enjoys inflicting pain and damage on the players?
I wouldn't quite say that, but I do like the fact that most of our maps have ended up being a challenge, like the fact that not dying is an accomplishment. Personally, I didn't build a lot of the traps like the nests in Cave-In. I actually didn't build a lot of those. In fact, I was the tester for those because Dan's like, "Here, Micah, come here, here, play Caven real quick. Let's test how this goes." But yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I must admit, I did have the excitement of finding two of the big, I'd say the biggest potential killers, being the Spider's Nest and the Zombie Skeleton area. Managed to get them during a live stream, which Dan actually joined on, which was a lot of fun. Great fun. And I guess from your point of view, Dan, that's probably something that you haven't really got to experience that much, where you've actually got to watch someone who has no idea of what's to come actually take on these challenges in a way that maybe you wouldn't have thought of. I mean, you did admit to me afterwards that maybe the way I took on one of the areas, being the Zombie Skeleton area, compared to one of the other players, that being one of our friends, SB, I did take the better route.
Yes, you did.
Proven by the fact that I survived, and unfortunately SB did not. I'm so proud of my no deaths, and I do find myself willing everyone else who's playing it to die, just so it's just me. I want to be the one.
True,
definitely.
Fair enough.
So I guess is it a bit different for you having, because I mean a lot more players, a lot more YouTubers are now doing series. As you've seen, of course, James96 was one of the first that you have posted on the original post, and now we've actually got a relatively large YouTuber has taken on the challenge themselves. What's it like to have that feeling of watching other players play this for their subscribers?
It's really fun. Sometimes, knowing exactly how I program the map and set things up, it's a little frustrating watching people flounder around. But I think for the most part, actually, the YouTube population has helped us improve Caven a lot. So watching you and James, I've actually already released several minor updates and changes that have made the map better. So I think that whole experience, that iterative improvement, is actually a really important aspect of the map, and it's one of the reasons why we now have beta testers that are giving us a lot of feedback before we release Exiled, just because we realized how valuable the community feedback was in developing the final product. But
awesome.
And I think especially the live stream was kind of fun because we sort of got to interact and talk while you were playing the game, which was something I've never gotten to do before. It was very fun for me.
Fair enough. Well, I'm glad to hear you enjoyed it so much. I certainly did, and there will be much more in the future. I'm just trying to catch up with episodes at the moment because I've got a habit of playing for too long in one time, and I'll record 3 episodes at the same time, and then I'll have to wait a week before anyone can say anything. So it's a bit of a nightmare. But anyway, hopefully we'll get some more live streams going. But that does actually lead me straight onto another question, another one from Bethel. Which, how important, well, you kind of answered this, but he mentioned that there was a couple of things that he'd brought up and mentioned to you that you could potentially change, and you in fact did actually go ahead and change those things. But he asked how important to the creation of your maps are the player ideas and the player interactions.
I think, so we have a specific vision, obviously when we make a map, we have an idea of how it's going to be beaten, and I think just having so many players play the map, we learn more about it than we originally learned, and we learn how to streamline it better. So Caven in its first version was a little rough. It was kind of hard to find some of the areas. It was more disconnected than it is now. So I think especially adding that little bit of polish and hoping it be a positive experience that keeps players interested, that's something we can only really get from getting player feedback. So that's kind of why I value it.
Fair enough. Very cool, very cool. Right, I don't want to ignore you too much. So this one's really for everyone. We'll start with Cisco. What do you do in real life?
What do I do in real life? Well, I'm actually mostly focused on graphic design and web design, I'm kind of a creative person, so I fill my time with those things. And Minecraft is just another one of those.
It certainly is. That's one of the things I love about Minecraft. You can either do it for the survival aspect of just living and not dying, or you've got the creative side, the programming side. It's very, very, very diverse and very cool. And that's one of the best things about the community is all the different kinds of people that are out there. What about yourself, Sam? What do you do in real life?
Well, I'm pretty much mostly interested in computer, like mechanics and electronics and such like that. And so I actually spend my time, right now I'm trying to fix my mom's old computer and stuff like that, just trying to, I fill my time Yeah, stuff like that.
To be fair, I must admit, little projects like that are really, really cool. They keep you going, and it kind of teaches you things along the way as you go. Much the same with like the way you can, like with the command blocks in Minecraft. It's a very simple and quick and easy way to just kind of get into the basics of programming and get into things like that. So I suppose that kind of links in with the computer engineering side of things as well.
Mm-hmm.
What about yourself, Dan? What do you do in real life?
So I'm getting my graduate degree in biomechanics at Johns Hopkins University. So I'm actually doing some
very cool
graduate research right now. This is how I alleviate the boredom with sometimes when things aren't going in research. I discovered map making. It's been really fun. But
fair enough. No, I guess you get a bit more control over what happens in Minecraft. It's exactly what you want it to be. Rather than, I suppose, in certain research things where it doesn't quite go the way you want it to. It's not exactly how you planned and things like that. So no, I can definitely see Minecraft as a very good release. Now we're actually coming to the end of the sensible questions.
Ooh.
There's one really silly one.
You have nonsensical questions for us? Nice.
Yeah.
I love nonsense.
I've got two. One's kind of an idea of a potential one for you guys to do. One is insane. We'll go for the idea one first. But it's another one from Bethel. Again, I only had 4 questions and they sucked. But have you ever thought about doing the Death Star? And I'll go more into this. It's like a Cloud City scenario. Imagine waking up a mile above the ground with very limited supplies, spawners inside random walls, a maze of levels. So kind of like a Skyblock, but on a massive scale.
Mm-hmm.
Is that potentially something? Maybe an idea for the future?
Sounds interesting.
It does.
It kind of reminds me of the theme of maybe like a space age CTM type map. It's very interesting sort of map. We have considered doing some space stuff, not quite along that vein, but Planetoid is going to be space agey. Just as a sneak peek.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Now, there's one thing about that, though, is that whenever we thought about doing something like in the sky like that, we wanted to have completely unique ideas. And so one reason we hadn't really thought about building, a giant a Death Star in the sky, or like a Skyblock type thing, is because, that's already a really popular thing, and we thought we'd try to do something that someone hadn't done before.
Very good point. And in all honesty, I freaking hate Skyblock. I hate it so much. Oh my god. It's fine until you've got all the stuff, all the cool stuff. Like I played Skygrind for a bit, where it's a lot more limited. There's no cobblestone generator. You get all of your gear together, and then you jump off the edge by accident, and it's all gone. And you're like, I'm not playing it ever again. And that was that. So yeah, I'm maybe kind of glad that you're not going in that direction.
So have you heard of this thing called Keep Inventory True?
I have. There are certain rules I use. I'll be honest. In Cave-In, I've turned mob griefing off. Because I think that kind of takes away a little bit. Mm-hmm. Plus, I like my redstone, and when I spend 2 hours making a redstone device for a creeper to come along and just screw it over in half a second, I'm not down with that. Creepers can kill me, but they're not taking my stuff away. Right, let's get the silly one out of the way. I'm going to ask this to all of you. We'll start with Cisco. If you know who this is, I know it's a very British thing. This is. Zan and Dan, you should know this. If you don't, I'll be very ashamed. Yeah. But how important, Cisco, is Sherlock Holmes to your creative thinking? And if not, why?
Sherlock Holmes?
Yes,
why
detective. This is not me. This is Bethel the whole way. This is Bethel's last question, and it was just like, right, I'm just rolling off now. Maybe I should stop. And that was the last question, so I thought I'd leave it in. It's a bit of a different one.
It's a cool
so
question.
Yeah, it is a cool question. Very different, but I don't know what it's got to do with Minecraft.
I have to be honest and say that I haven't thought of Sherlock Holmes, not even once.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about that.
No. In all honesty, that's probably the answer that I'd expect. I'll be pleasantly surprised, but I guess the other two have had a few moments to think about this. So, Zan, is Sherlock Holmes important to your creative thinking?
Not necessarily. I don't draw any particular inspiration from the plots or anything like that. But I mean, if our maps seem like this type of Sherlock Holmes thing, I mean, seriously, I'm honored.
Fair enough. That's a very good answer. Dan, can you top that? Is Sherlock Holmes important to your creative thinking?
Sherlock Holmes is very important to me. I don't know that it necessarily always plays into my thinking in Minecraft in particular, but I've always been a big fan of his books and just his deductive style. A famous quote by Sherlock Holmes is, if you've ruled out everything that's impossible, whatever is left, however improbable, must be true. And I always really liked that quote. Most of the time in Minecraft, I try to make the puzzles a little easier so that you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to solve them, but I do very much like puzzles in my map. And actually in Exiled, there is some fairly complicated puzzles that you do not have to solve to beat the map, but if you do, you'll unlock some special content. So there's another sneak preview for you.
Very cool.
If you think like Sherlock Holmes, this could be a fun map for you. So.
Okay, fair enough. That answer certainly topped Sans. Sorry about that, buddy.
Whatever.
But yeah, no, that sounds great. The fact that you've got some harder puzzles that aren't required to complete the map, that certainly adds to the playability, because people aren't going to think, oh, I can't work this out, so I'm just going to stop playing. Because there are maps out there that are famous for people rage quitting and they never go back to.
Yes.
But the fact that you've got these harder puzzles that if they don't get solved, it doesn't matter, which I think is good. But you still, obviously, you get the bonus, you get the reward, you get the pride for completing the harder ones.
Yes.
Now, I think there is probably one more question to go. And you can be as cryptic as you want, or you can say absolutely nothing. This one is really down to the three of you, if you have an idea, or if only one of you wants to answer this one. In the upcoming map Exiled, what kind of things can fans expect to come up against? Now, I'll leave that up to... Really not cool. Not cool.
Well, you can expect to come up against that. That's one of them.
Yeah. Hi, that's coming right in my face. Oh, I missed.
Now he's gone.
Oh, fantastic. Anyway,
That's a close one.
yeah, who'd like to take that?
Well, let's go. Start with you, Zan. Let's all make a small comment.
Well, like Daniel said, a lot of this is going to end up being kind of cryptic puzzles. Not all of them you have to do. Some of them you'll have to figure out and stuff like that. But like, as another thing, kind of like Caven. I mean, seriously, no deaths. Seriously, it's an award to have no deaths in this map. This is going to be terrible to try to fight your way through.
Okay, I think I'll definitely have the death count scoreboard up for that then, definitely. I've got it up in Cave-In, but of course it hasn't showed up yet because I'm still on 0. Very proud of that. And I've proven that as well because I have brought up the mob statistics list, which tells you if you've been killed by a mob, and none of them have got me, even the bats. Anyway, Cisco, have you got any cryptic clues you'd like to give us that doesn't give away too much?
I definitely agree with Zan here. The map is really terribly, terribly hard at some points, though. But yeah, I like the option of either going the cryptic way, deciphering things the Sherlock Holmes way, or just going the survival way. And I think the survival aspect is quite interesting. It's a brand new version of survival we've introduced in here, and I think players will really like it. It's not regular survival you see every day.
Very cool. That's one thing I've noticed out of both Zan and Dan so far, and of course I'm sure we'll see this out of you as well, Cisco, is the uniqueness of the survival concept. The way you've just completely changed it, but still kept it vanilla and kind of simple in a way, but still having those very, very cool aspects. And Dan, finally off to you. What have you got for us?
All right. Well, before I make my comments, I just want to clarify. When these guys say the survival is terrible, they're not talking about quite the degree of terrible like the zombie skeleton ravine that you talked about earlier.
Okay.
It's not terrible because we designed like traps that are going to be really hard to circumvent. It's hard actually just because the survival is hard. It'll be very challenging. It's a bit more convoluted and difficult to get the hang of than Cave-In. Cave-In is still a lot like the normal world in some ways, but I think the players are going to find this really fun. And this is more for SB. Don't worry, there's no death traps on this map, at least not to the same degree as Cave-In. So do not worry about what C and Dan 10,000 just said. When we say you'll die, it probably won't be in a way quite like that. So
yeah, you'll probably just starve.
Take a little bit of heart from that. Yes, Brilliant. Your first death will probably be starving or walk or anyway. I can't say too much more, but
of course.
But I think you'll very much enjoy the challenge of surviving on this map, and then the second part of the map, trying to figure out what the heck we did and how to circumvent these puzzles so that you can beat the map. But the survival aspect in itself is very fun. We've actually already tested that We've pretty much beaten the survival part of it. We're still putting in place the finer features right now, and that's kind of what our beta testers are going to be testing. So I hope it's everything you guys are looking forward to. I really enjoy the map, and I hope you do too.
Very cool. No, I'm very sure we all will. Of course, there are plans with us small-time YouTubers as well to join together and play these maps together. I know me and James96 have got a plan to collab on this one, which should be a lot of fun. It will be a little bit different.
Raise your survival chances a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
It doubles your chance of starving also.
Yes,
that's very true. That's a very true point. Very true point. So we've got two great minds, but the same amount of food. So it should certainly make it a little bit more challenging, which I can't wait, to be honest. I'm certainly really enjoying the different uniqueness of Cave-In. Absolutely amazing. I love the fact that it's linked in with Exiled, and then, of course, your Part 3 map as well. One more question. Does Exiled have kind of like an end game like Cave-In, or does it keep going? Or is that one you can't reveal?
If you solve some of the puzzles, yes, there is an end game.
Awesome. That's great. I will leave it at that then. Yes, well, thank you very much for joining me on this. It's an absolute honour. I'm very, very, what's the word? Honoured is the word, but I'm very pleased, very thankful that you guys let me come on here. And
thanks for coming.
See the tiny little bits that I can see with the night vision on. Very clever way of disguising things, that is. Very clever way. But I cannot wait to play. Have we got a rough kind of idea when this will be available to the public?
Yes, I can't guarantee a date because I learned the hard way that might change, but I can tell you that we will probably get it to our beta testers as early as this coming weekend. Not this one, but the next one. And then depending on how much they tell us is wrong with the map, could be 2-3 more weeks until we see it go public. So you guys can look forward to it probably in the beginning of May, I'm thinking. So
fantastic. So not too far away at all.
Nope.
So guys, I hope you are as hyped as I am to play what already looks to be an incredible map from some incredible builders. Just one more thing, let's give credit to, we do actually have a missing builder today. Can we mention who that is?
Yes, our builder Valdarok. He's been building with me for most of Exiled. He wasn't on the team for Cave-In, but he was on the team for Final Battleground. That's kind of how I met him. He was our first beta tester for Cave-In as well, and he's done a lot of work on this map. Definitely give him credit in the video. I'm not sure what's up with him today, but I think he just had some scheduling stuff come up because he just didn't contact us. He said he'd be on today, so...
No worries. Well,
unfortunate.
That's the thing with Minecraft. Real life things do come up and get in the way sometimes, unfortunately.
Yes.
But for now, I will let you guys get back to work, as I'm sure you've probably got plenty to do, even though you managed to spend 20 minutes building this little conference room for us, which is very, very cool. But anyway, we will leave it there. Let's get an F5. There we go. So, yeah, very, very cool. an awesome opportunity here for not only me, but everyone else who's watching to get a little bit of inside information on the upcoming map and what goes behind creating these maps. But for now, if you did enjoy, please leave a like or a comment. If you do, please subscribe. And in the meantime, thanks very much for watching, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye!